Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another FPL Expectations Deadline stream. Yes, it has been a while. I have not been on the stream for a little while, and I miss it so much, but I've been a little bit busy. But nevertheless, it is great to be back prior to the game week 34 deadline. We're heading for the final run in the final stretch of fixtures. And yes, things are wrapping up, moving quick. Got a couple of double game weeks coming up, so we have a lot to talk about. But of course, I'm never alone. Today I'm joined with, of course, a familiar face, Joe FPL. Joe, how are you doing?
Hey Nick, good to be back again. Yeah, I think last week I was with Craig. We talked through some of the free hit drafts and on game week 33, and so this week is also going to be another interesting week. So let's talk about it.
Yes, let's talk about it. It's great to have you here on the show as well. Before we get to 34, we have to talk about 33. So I'm going to bring Joe's team up first. Joe, talk us through how you did for game week 33.
This is my free hit team on game week 33. End up with a score of 86. Not too shabby. Green arrow from 10k to 8.3k. But when you play free hits, usually you cannot resist to look at your team. What would have happened if you haven't free hit? So unfortunately, if I didn't free hit, my original team actually does marginally better than the free hit team. But anyway, a green arrow is a green arrow. I'll take it. Chips sort of being wasted, but yeah, I mean it's just all in hindsight anyway. So we just move on. If you look at the team, I think glad Newcastle got their clean sheet against Crystal Palace, so double defense paid off. Palace only played the first match, got an assist. Second match he was benched, but at least it's better than 2 points or 1 point. Fernandes is really a disappointment over the double game week. Only 3 points. I'm pretty sure quite a number of people has been stung by Fernandes move, especially those on free transfer who actually sold Salah for Fernandes. That was really painful, especially since Salah had a huge haul of 19 points.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Martinelli is also now a disappointment. The first game, he could have got a return, if not because of Forster's heroics. And second game, got benched in the 4-2 victory over Chelsea. I don't know. As Nick, as an Arsenal fan, why do you think Martinelli is benched? I think he played pretty well against Southampton, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Arteta has his ways, man. He really does have his ways. Here's the thing, right? I'm still wondering how we are able to lose to Palace and Brighton on certain weekends and then beat Chelsea away. This team is outrageous, and you know that full well.
I mean, the win was pretty convincing as well, right? Like 4-2, it's not like it's a close one or things like that.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, Arsenal being Arsenal, they turn out against bigger sides and somehow lose against smaller sides. But anyway, it's a shame if Martinelli played or started. I probably think he would at least get a return or two. Ronaldo captain paid off. It's just that he didn't feature in the second match because of his family matter. So, but at least he returned a hat trick on the first game. Chris Wood, really another disappointment. Only one shot. I think one shot, if I'm not mistaken. Not even I don't even know whether it's shot on target or not over the double game week. Glad he's not in my team anymore after the free hit. Son and Kane, disappointment again. Spurs side. Spurs also is another pretty inconsistent team. They can trash other teams, but they can just lose 1-0, and both of the big premium heaters just blank like that, which is a pretty disappointing run, to be honest. But overall, 86 points, can't complain much. Green arrow. So yeah, so that's my game week 33 summary.
Nice. Well, yeah, a green arrow is still a green arrow. Where are you now in overall rank?
8.4k.
Very good. Top 10K. So we take that.
Yep.
We take a green arrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Very good stuff. Very good stuff. So I'm gonna go over my team real quickly. I did not play a chip. I made one transfer.
Wow,
And
97 points.
97 points. I
And
was
it's not a free hit team, right?
It's not. This is my team before.
Mhm.
I think Madison was my transfer. I think. Oh no, sorry, it was Cher. It was Cher who's the transfer. I was so tempted, this close to doing Salah to Bruno, and I am so thankful I did not.
Ooh,
If I did it, I think my game week would have been
ruined.
so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So close.
Especially most probably since you're gonna captain Bruno
No, I was going to.
if if you
So
brought him
yeah,
in.
I was
But I
very
mean,
fortunate.
you held your ground. You know, it definitely was tempting, right?
No,
Like
yeah, yeah,
you look at your lineup, you had 0 Man United. Uh,
yeah.
only Shaw, White, Dubravka, and Madison, and Wakehorse, Broya as well are your doubles. So but yeah, I mean, turn out really well. Turn out really
You can
well.
imagine when Ronaldo got his hat trick in the first game, I was so sad, man, because I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
yo.
yeah, exactly. I watched the match live. I was like screaming my head off. Especially he's my captain, and seeing him score, especially that free kick. Somehow when you look the way he took that ball, and then
Yeah.
he lined himself up, you can know. Oh, okay lah, hat trick.
Yeah. But then
So,
luckily Salah salvaged it.
oh yeah,
Cancelo, Share, Trent, Dubravka, defense, all doing their thing. Saka and Weghorst. Weghorst, we take a
yeah.
return.
Finally,
Finally.
double. I mean, double digit over a double game week. We take
We
it and
take it.
move.
We
Exactly.
take it. Yeah. So yeah, overall good returns. And I'm sitting around 8K, I think, as well. Yeah, never
8k as
mind.
well.
7.8. Um
7.8.
7.8. I think because Salah was considered a differential in this rank. So
Yeah, I mean, if you captain Salah, he's a differential, because I think about top 10k he was about 85%.
yeah.
So if you captain him, it is even a more differential, because you double the points. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
good
that's the
stuff.
game week. Good stuff.
So our,
But
our,
yeah,
our rankings are pretty similar.
pretty close. Top 10K.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, we keep moving. Now that I'm on my team, I'll briefly go over um my team here for game week 34. I've made my transfers already. I got kind of scared from the price rises, but the only two moves I did, I'm taking a hit. I
Okay.
took a -4, and I did Rudiger. I had Rudiger to
Mm-hmm.
Alonso, and
Mm-hmm.
this was Rafinha to Mount. I wanted James. I really wanted James, but I was point 0.1 short because of the price rise Mount, which is really
Oh
annoying.
yeah.
So I couldn't do it. I made a
Mount
sacrifice.
risen in price by, I think, like yesterday. Is it?
Yeah, it was.
Day
Yeah, the
before? Can't
moment that
remember.
happened, I couldn't afford James anymore, so I settled for Alonso, which it'll do. It'll do. It's fine. But that's the team looking out. Armband is still on Salah. I'm really tempted to do Mount, but Everton, Everton at home. That's probably the
Mm.
game for now, I think.
I
So I
mean,
don't know.
like,
I'm still
are,
thinking
are
about it.
you concerned that he might be rested? I
You
think
think
I
he
think
might
if I'm
be
not,
rested?
I think if I'm not mistaken, he was. I think, was it last season or 2 seasons ago? He was rested against Everton.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
So
I have to think about it. I'll have to think about. Let's as we progress through this stream, we'll see what I'm thinking, if that changes or not. because I mean, obviously, I'm coming off of Salah rewarding me with a
Yeah,
big haul, so it's very hard to
yeah,
look past that, you know. So
yeah.
yeah,
Understandable.
yeah,
And he's not just another player. You know, he is probably the most on form player in the Premier League right now.
one of the best. Yeah, so it's tough, but I'll think about it. We'll go through the stream. Kane, you know, all your basics. I'm very happy with the team so far, and hopefully it's setting up for a bench boost very soon. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll go.
you still have okay, like maybe we go through your chips. Like what chips do you have left?
I have my bench boost and one more free hit. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
probably going to be 36, 37, something like that.
I think you're setting yourself up pretty well for a strong finish. Hopefully
Hopefully.
top 5K
Oh,
or
hopefully. We
and
can only
above.
hope. We
Yeah.
can only hope.
I mean like bench boost on 36. I can foresee we're gonna see some monster scores.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have
So
to see.
personally, I only have a free hit left. So looking at free hitting on 37, since I have probably enough bench boosters for game week 36 to have 11 bench boosters.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
but I
Did
can
you play your
foresee.
bench boost? Sorry. So when did you
Yeah, I
play
played
it?
my bench boost. I think when was it? Can't remember. 29 was it?
Oh.
I
Oh,
can't
the double game
remember.
week or something.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a fantastic return, but uh, you know, we it's good enough, I guess.
Good enough. It is good
Yeah.
enough. Enough about my team. We will move on to your team very swiftly right
Oh,
now.
let me just whip up my.
Talk us through if you've made any moves or if you haven't, any moves you're thinking about.
I've already made my moves.
Mm-hmm.
I took 2 hits, so -8.
Man.
Crazy. Yeah, I know. Because I think I mean I was really in a limbo, like didn't know exactly what to do or what moves I'm comfortable with, and when I asked for advice about these specific moves, then there'll be a specific narrative saying, are you sure you want to sell so and so? They are going
Mm,
to do this. Then I asked again, oh, what about this? What about that? I mean, like an option, the next option. Oh, you sure you want to sell that player? Da, da, da. So each option I throw out, I get a different narrative. So this is, I think, I guess this is what you call um I wouldn't say noise. I would say, when you ask different people or you ask a community, um different people will have different opinions, or different people will whip up, because the stats are there, so
mhm,
so it depends on how you use those stats, and different people will use stats differently to suit their narrative, or to suit their opinion, or their argument, or their advice, so to speak. So it really boils down to what what you want, or how,
mhm.
because I would say, um we know our teams the best, and usually what I would advise is, go with your gut, um block out those noise, sleep over it if you need to, and sometimes overthinking is a big issue, um because you once you consider all the options, and let's say you make a wrong choice, and somehow one of your previous options was better, then you've probably beat yourself up already. It's like, say, oh, I thought of this player. He was in
Yeah.
my drafts. Those kind of sentences is pretty common, in the FPL community. So I think overthinking is a big issue. So you know when I start to overthink, I have two paths I would take personally. Firstly is, don't do anything.
Yes.
When in doubt, do nothing. Roll the transfer. Even even if your team doesn't do as well as you hope, at least you have an extra transfer on the next game week. It's still a minor win. So it's either that or just go with your gut and go big or go home. So and just click that button. Just click that button and sleep. So
Sleep on it.
yeah, I mean, so for this particular game week, I chose the second path. I took Kane off. I sold Kane, brought in Timo Werner. Mainly because I needed funds to fund for other players. So selling Kane against Brentford, to be honest, I think Brentford away is going to be a bit tricky. I don't know. This is just my opinion, my feel here. It's a bit tricky for them because Brentford they've been playing well recently, and ever since David Raya came back to the team, and they had a shift in formation, and Ericsson plays back in the team, playing as a main creative midfielder. They have been doing pretty well. So shot stopping David Raya, I think we have no doubt of his abilities. So I would think Brentford away is a bit tricky for Spurs. But then again, we will never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So selling Kane, which has Brentford away, for Werner, which has two, he's on form at the moment, and Tuchel is praised him. His stats has always been there. His expected goals involvement has always been there. It's just that his finishes somehow
end product.
the end product or his finishes has been letting him down, and his confidence has been affected due to that. But I think over the past few games, you can see his confidence gaining, and even especially with Tuchel's public compliment of him, you can see his confidence is up again. Even the way he plays, even he dares to take shots. Before this, when his confidence was a bit low, you can see him hesitating. Trying to bring the ball even closer to take shots, and just his decision making is a bit slower because I think due to his confidence being hampered. But I think recently, with his confidence up again, you can see him more confident and taking shots. I think even his goal against against Arsenal, even though it was a deflected goal, but you can see him taking on people, taking on his opponents more confidently, and taking longer range shots rather than trying to bring the ball as close as possible to the goal. So I think Werner he's probably the man of the moment. So hopefully he features heavily in both games, and he has 2 games, or 1 extra game over Kane, which is why I brought him in, and I used those funds to actually bring in Sterling, because it's just another gut feel of mine. I can see, I can imagine, or I can imagine City really smashing Watford inside out, again at home at the Etihad, because if you look at their history, so many goals. I think over the past five game weeks, if I'm not mistaken, 5 games that they face each other, they scored 24 goals and they conceded only 2 goals. So that's an insane stat. And Sterling's record against Watford is great as well, and he has been rested the last game against Brighton. So which is why he's on my team. I just hope that Pep doesn't screw me again because this is not the first time I toyed around with Sterling and got burned really badly over the
Yeah.
last few seasons. But yeah, I mean, this is the final stretch of the season, and time to take risks.
Yeah. Have a bit of
And
fun.
yeah, and another transfer I did was sold Rudiger for Alonso,
Mhm.
because I can't see. I mean, Tuchel mentioned Rudiger is definitely out against West Ham. So whether will he be fit enough to face Man United? This it's not a guarantee as well.
Yeah.
So, and essentially he might be even a blank game week player. So might as well just sell him and get another Chelsea defender, which
Mhm.
is cheaper in price as well. So, yep. So that's my team at the moment. Armband currently is on Sterling due to this retching gut feel, but it's Werner. Werner captaincy is really toying with me as well. So it's something that I would need to decide over the next 1.5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, they're both very good options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand what you mean by the Sterling move because it's not a bad
Yep.
move, it's not terrible. So,
Yep.
hope that goes well for you. And if it does, or you're gonna be screaming on the
Yeah.
highest
Yeah.
highest balconies.
You can hear me screaming from Malaysia.
I will hear you, man. Everyone will report so screaming because of Sterling's hat trick. All right. Well, fantastic stuff. There's a -8, right?
Yeah, -8.
-8. Hey, here's the thing, right? I think it was Big Man Barker's thread, his
Yep.
preview,
Yep.
and he said that this game week we're gonna see a couple of hits, and it makes sense because we are setting our team up for the long final stretch.
Yep.
It's kind of like an investment. We are kind of taking it now, and it's gonna hopefully pay up later on as we go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no surprise. Take hits, it's everyone's probably gonna take. I've taken a hit, so yeah, it's that time of the time of the
Yeah.
season. So
Yeah. I mean, I've seen quite a number of teams. I mean, there are a lot of teams playing their wild card at the moment,
mhm.
and there are also quite a number of teams playing their free hit, which is
Yeah,
very interesting. It's an interesting week to play the free hit as well, because you have teams with great fixtures, such as Liverpool playing at home against Everton. You have Man City playing at home against Watford. You have the
mhm.
Chelsea double game week. You have the Man United double game week if you still fancy United assets. Um, yeah. So I mean, I seen some free hit teams, really good. So unfortunately, I have my free hit, but I couldn't play it because I already played my free hit last game week, so I can't play it consecutively.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how the teams go. Stay updated with Joe's Twitter if you want to see how the Sterling pick plays off. We're gonna talk a little bit about ship strategy and players to target. And just for the sake of convenience, I'm gonna bring up the FDR schedule. We're looking at 34 here. We have two teams that double, Chelsea and United.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, very popular two game weeks to play chips would be the 36 and 37, given the amount of doubles and a few blanks.
Yeah.
So um, obviously, it's not just limited to that. Chip strategy is very team dependent. But
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, Joe? What are you thinking? Maybe people with maybe a free hit in hand, a bench boost, or any other, I mean, a wild card, right? At this point in time, what would you
Yeah.
think? What's your thinking?
I mean, if you have your wild card, definitely for me this is the week to play it, because as I mentioned, you have several teams with great fixtures, and you would want to to gain on those fixtures in for the final stretch, and also set your team up for game week 36 as well, especially if you have bench boosts. I think bench boost, like I mentioned just now, we we are going to see some monster scores on game week 36. You will probably see easily teams with 14 or even 15 double game week players on game week 36 with bench boost, which is like the dream,
Yeah.
the most ideal bench boost situation. But we must remember that there by then there are teams with nothing much to play for, and there are teams with still involved heavily in the other cup games. So like for example, Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken, Chelsea, their FA Cup final is only like I think 2 days away from their second double game week game and game week 36, which is against Leeds.
Mhm.
So we can expect heavy rotation, because I think one of the main killer of bench boost is rotation, because
Yeah.
it's essentially from like you just look at Shea Adams last game. We just need to look at last game week. So many people has been burned by Shea Adams because somehow he started so many games in a row. His stats, his expected goals involvement is pretty good, even though they face pretty tough teams. But somehow suddenly in the double game week he benched both games. Crazy, benched both games. So and that was last game week. So you can imagine a game week 36 with teams having other commitments and maybe teams starting to rotate. Especially those teams which is in the sort of like mid-table teams with nothing much to play for. We're gonna see some monster scores, but we are going to also see some major disappointment because a
Yeah.
team starts to rotate, and sometimes there's just nothing much you can do about that. So
Yeah.
I mean that's one of the strategy. Wildcard on game week 34, bench boost on game week 36. If you have your free hit, maybe free hit on game week 37, because game week 37 you will have quite a number of teams double as well, and some teams blank. So and especially if you are playing your if you're playing your bench boost on game week 36, you might focus on several teams that have good fixtures, and in the same time there are other teams with doubles on game week 37 which have other good fixtures as well. So free hit is probably a good way to capitalize on that as well, on those fixtures and those doubles, because I think if you look at game week 37, there are several teams that have double game week that probably you wouldn't want to bring them in before that. You have teams like Everton double, Crystal Palace also double on game week 37. You have Villa double, Burnley double as well, and Leicester. These are the confirmed doubles so far. And now we are eagerly waiting for the Man City double. Whether they will double on game week 36 or game week 37, still yet to be known. To be honest, I think we probably wouldn't know before the game week 34 deadline, which is a bit unfortunate. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So personally, I would like them to double in game week 37, because if you play free hit with teams like Man City, you get the latest information, and then you can make your transfers just right at the deadline. Because especially with teams that love to rotate, love to rest key players or players like what we have with Man City. So free hit is the best, one of the better chips to negate those risks. Which is why I think game week. So I mean, if you bench boost on game week 36, then probably game week 37 is a good week to free hit if you do have it.
Yeah, I'm also really hoping it's 37 as well. I've seen that there's a good chance it's 37 because I only have Cancelo, so I'm really banking on the free hit to kind of really bring in those City players that I like. And yeah, those blanks in 37 are United Liverpool, Southampton. These are, especially Liverpool, right? These are teams that.
I think Liverpool's one is just haven't been announced, but it is almost 100% sure that they will get the Southampton game in game week 37.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, uh, most probably it's just it needs to be confirmed. So
Okay.
so so I would think Liverpool probably not bank they are not blanking on game week 37.
Okay. Okay. Then they're really good holds then for the rest of the season,
Yeah,
I think at least.
yeah.
So what are players? What do you think are some players that we can maybe look at? Particularly, those that we can maybe look to get within 34, 35, so that, if we set up a bench boost here and then be ready for a free hit, possibly 37, something like that. Some of these players we're looking at, you know, I think Leicester are very popular. People that are long-term holds. This is a
Leicester is a
double.
bit tricky at the moment because they are I would say they are really focusing on the Conference League right now.
Mhm.
I, I think that is probably one of their better chance to actually win the silverware. So and they have a good chance as well. So you can see Leicester is probably uh, personally for me, Leicester, although they have quite a number of doubles coming up, it's still an avoid for me because it's a bit tricky. You really cannot expect who will be benched.
Mm.
Um, but I saw on Twitter there are some early leaks already out this coming game week on game week 34 that Barnes is going to be benched and Madison is going to play.
Nice.
So that I mean, but disclaimer, that's just a leak from
Yeah.
Samuel Martin. If you don't know him on FPL, he I mean on FPL Twitter, he is the go-to man for Leicester news. So he tweets out saying Barnes will be benched and Madison will start. So those who are on Barnes, I advise you to either you bench him. I mean, this is just disclaimer. Either you bench him or you move to a player, to another player, especially Chelsea assets. But if you look at the FDR, I would say Villa is having a good run.
Mhm.
They're having Leicester this week, which expect heavy rotations because of the Conference League, and then they play Norwich at home next week, and then they have a double on game week 36, and they have a double on game week 37 as well. And if you look at their double on game week 37, both are home games against Crystal Palace and Burnley, and they look really enticing.
Really good.
So yeah,
Yes.
so I would say Villa players are probably one of the, the options that you can opt for towards the end of the run of the season. Another one you can look out for are of course Chelsea players. This week they're having a double, and then after that they have another double on game week 36. But like I said, their FA Cup final is probably only two days after their Leeds game, so I would expect heavy rotation on the Leeds game on game week 36. So proceed with caution. But if you look at their FDR, they have pretty good run of fixtures. Because but again, if you look at the table standing right now, they are quite firmly on a third place. So
Mhm.
if they gain a few points, like for example this week and next game week they gain like a win or two, so it's pretty much secure. Then we can probably see much heavier rotation towards the end of the season because the third place is secure. They can't chase the top two, so they're pretty comfortable at third place, and then they want to focus fully on the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
So Chelsea assets, high risk, high reward, and I think like what you mentioned, Nick, as well. Leicester, they have double 36 and double 37. Their double on 36 really looks good. Home against Everton and home against Norwich, but like I said, their focus is mainly on the Conference League Europa Conference League at the moment, so it's a bit tricky fixture, tricky team to go for. If you really want to go for players from Leicester, probably Maddison is your best bet. Besides Schmeichel, he's probably the most nailed player there. Other than that, I'll probably avoid other players. Man City, great fixture up to the end of the season, and every game now is a must-win for them because they're only leading by 1 point at the moment. And just something interesting that I noticed, their goal difference at the moment, they are lower. Their goal difference is lower than Liverpool at the moment. They are on 55 and Liverpool's on 61. So I think I've heard or I've read somewhere that Pep actually mentioned goal difference is probably one of their focus as well.
So he wants more goals.
I mean, of course, winning every game guarantees them the Premier League title. But just in case they lost and maybe Liverpool draw to gain 1 point and they are on level terms, and the goal difference plays a much bigger role if this happens. So we can, in my opinion, we can expect more goals and hopefully more clean sheets as well, lesser goals conceded because they want to gain on those goal difference. So
that's a really good point. That's a really good observation there, and I think that's swaying in the favor of the City assets.
Yeah, so if you look at City, they are playing against Watford at home, Leeds away, and then 36 they're having Newcastle at home, and potentially either they double on game week 36 or they double on game week 37, and then they end the season with Villa at home. So, will we see another neck to neck photo finish moment between Man City and Liverpool? I would think so. I would think so because Liverpool, they are on really top form at the moment as well. Liverpool is another team with players to target. Personally, I'm most probably tripling Liverpool into the end of the season because they want to win every game as well, and they because if Man City slip up, Liverpool is there to poach them. So both Liverpool and Man City, I think we can safely say that they will definitely feel their strongest 11 week in week out, in all aspects. So Liverpool and Man City are probably other teams to target as well. For me. So yeah, and other than that, relegation battle teams probably are good teams to target instead. I mean to use as enablers. So if you look at the table at the moment, what's the table like? I think currently is it Burnley, Norwich,
Do it here.
Oh, Burnley, Norwich, and Watford.
Burnley, Norwich, Watford.
Yeah, they are the last three at the moment, and Everton is not far behind.
Yeah.
So I would say these teams are great teams to bring in as enablers, especially they have game week 36 doubles as well. Like for example, if you look at Everton, they have game week 36 and 37 doubles. So looks good on paper. The fixtures. If you have players like Gordon, which you can use as enablers. You have. I mean, if you fancy Richarlison as well, he's another good pick, especially on game week 37. And then if you look at Burnley, you have Wakehorse, you have Nick Pope, you have their defenders. You even if you need an enabler that they will play week in week out, or even to easily bench, you have Brownhill, which is only 4.3 at the moment, so really cheap assets. Watford as well. Watford, Watford, their fixtures are not pretty this week because they're playing City, but they have Burnley after that. Then they have a double on game week 36 against Crystal Palace and Everton, and then they play against Leicester at home. So I would say you have good enablers in Watford, such as Dennis. I think Dennis should play every game. Also, you have João Pedro as well, because since Chucho Hernandez is out for the whole season, so I think Pedro should be nailed in that team, and a good enabler as well.
I think Pookie is a really good enabler as well, given that we don't
Yes,
have a lot of good forwards.
yes. Let's see, Norwich. Yeah, so they have
They have a
Newcastle
double
at
as well.
home. They have a double as well, and Pookie is nailed on penalties. And usually we see if you remember, I think the last time he's in the Premier League, he had a good run at the start of the season, and then in the middle of the season he's a bit cold, and then now towards the end of the season he's picking up again.
Picking up
So
again, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he is a good choice as well. I've seen wildcard teams with only one forward, which is Pookie, playing forward. So yeah,
Yeah.
good shot as
Yeah.
well.
Pookie would be a good option as well. And yeah,
Mhm.
they have a lot to play for. Fixture's not bad either, but he's definitely an enabler almost.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
yeah. So he's a good player to pick as well. So yeah, we have those players at target. Those of us looking out for game weeks 36, 37, good times to play chips, bench boost, free hit, wild card, all that good stuff. We have a couple of minutes left. I think it's a good time for us to move to the Q&A. So we have a couple of...
I think Nick, before we start, I just probably want to ask you a question. Since you're
Oh,
an Arsenal fan of Arsenal, what do you think of Eddie and
Nketiah?
Nketiah? Yeah.
I think is a good enabler as well. I think we've all seen the comments about from Arteta
Mm-hmm.
that he really impressed him, and given
Yep.
that Lacazette, his security now is not there.
I think
Mm,
Lacazette, he is in a situation where, firstly, of course, he was out with COVID, um,
mhm.
and whether is it did he fall ill or it's just an asymptomatic one? I don't think we know anything about that. But at the same time, there was an interview coming out saying that um, he wanted clubs that plays in the Champions League. So and at the same time, he didn't really perform. He didn't really score goals for
Mhm.
Arsenal. So yeah, I think I would probably think Lacazette with just a few games left in the season, he'll probably just feature as cameos. But do you think Nketiah would be nailed until the end of the season?
I cannot guarantee anything, but I wouldn't be against him being a pick if you're looking for a budget forward. I would
Mm-hmm.
still prefer Pookie, given that he's probably more nailed and he's on penalties. But Nketiah, I wouldn't be entirely opposed to. So if that answers your question well enough, I hope
Mm-hmm.
so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then hopefully that answers. We'll move on to Q&A now. A couple of minutes
Yep.
left. Thank you for everyone who has submitted questions. Thank you for tuning in. We have FPL SWAT morning here to you. It is currently 6:46 here in Sydney, so it's a little bit too late for the morning. We got Joe saying, greeting everybody. Shady Khaled, Kane to Werner, Kulusevski to Havertz, and Doherty to Cancelo were -8. I think that's okay. Oh, wait, hold on. It's 3 Spurs out for 2 Chelsea and 1 City. I wouldn't be against it, I think, because it's kind of like setting up your team for the long term. What do you think, so?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be against those moves as well,
Mhm.
provided you captain one of them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, to maximize the impact, to gain as much on the hit as possible. So personally, I probably would captain one of them. Um, my money is probably on Havertz out of those three.
Same. I'd probably go Havertz as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully that answers it. We like the move. It's kind of setting up for long term. So hope that works out for you. Vincent, good to see you as always. It's always good to have you back. FPL Sum, good to see you again. FPL Swap, finally a workhorse return. Yes. Oh my word. It's been so painful, but oh my word, when he scored, I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. And thank you very much.
I mean, the goal was pretty scrappy as well, right? But he just had the right time
we take it.
Yeah,
We take
right
it.
moment, right time to just hit the ball on the rebound. So
We take it. We take it. We definitely take it. And yeah, 10 points from Workhorse. We take it. Marcus, Cash and Foden, or Laporte and Coutinho on a wild card. Let me have a okay. I think he posted his team later on. Okay.
Yeah, he posted his team later on.
So the team's here. Game week 34, he's on a wild card. So he's got Schmeichel in goal, Trent, Robbo, Alonso, Cancelo at the back, Saka, Salah, Havertz, Captain, Mount, and Foden midfield, and Pookie up top. And a bench got Forster, Mateta, Cash, and Dennis. Okay, bench boosting 36, no free hit left. It's a pretty good team. You know, it's a pretty good team. The question earlier was
my issue is probably only my qualm is only probably on Mateta because I don't know why he was benched last game. I think he did pretty well so far before that, but I guess Vieira has other plans. So Mateta suddenly, he's not as nailed as we hope, and for bench boost, you probably would want all your players to be as nailed as possible, which is why Mateta is a bit. I'm a bit skeptical on him, but of course, Palace their fixtures aren't too bad, pretty good as well. Game week 36. But the thing about Mateta is, thing about Palace is game week 36. They are only having a single game week against Watford. So if you're bench boost, I would probably prefer a player that has double game week. Yeah. So that's my only issue. But then again, who can you afford? And Mateta is only like 5.3, if I'm not mistaken. Who else can you afford? One player comes to mind is a player that we just discussed just now, which is Nketiah. Nketiah is 5.4. So I don't know. Worth thinking, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. That's the thing. So yeah.
But I think back to his previous question of Cash plus Foden or Laporte plus Coutinho on the wild card.
Oh, that's tough, because I don't mind the Cash plus Foden, but I think Laporte is more nailed. But then when you brought up the thing about the goal difference, expecting more goals, you would think it would come from Foden on an attacker, right? So
yeah,
it's a tough one. I think if I had to pick Cash and Foden, because they're both pretty decent picks, but I would probably go with the Cash and Foden. But I'm not too sure entirely.
I think I'll go for Cash and Foden as well, because especially this week, like let's say if you have Laporte and Coutinho, who will you play? Will you bench Laporte and play Coutinho? Because he is currently benching Cash and playing Foden, which is I think is a better setup for game week 34.
That's true. I would agree as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answers your question, Marcus. We went for Cash and Foden. FPL SWAT, top 10 kick gets tougher every year. Massive well done. Yep, we're hanging in there. Then the Prabo, sorry, I butchered your name. Double defense, Arsenal or Newcastle, or just play one of them. Oh, I'm assuming that's like a Dubravka and a Share, right? Most likely.
Yeah, I think he's probably talking about Dubravka and Shah, then probably Ramsdale and Ben White,
like a White
Gabriel.
or something, or
maybe
Gabriel.
I think personally, this week I would hitch my my bets, I'll probably just play one of them. Because I think Arsenal against Man United, even if it's against Man United, we cannot dismiss their attack, especially with maybe most probably Ronaldo coming back to the fold. So sorry Nick, but I probably can't see them keeping a clean sheet, to be honest.
Me neither. At least a goal. I can see a goal being conceded. So I'm not arguing.
Yeah. And Newcastle playing away at Norwich. Norwich at home is pretty tough, to be honest. Norwich at home is pretty tough, and they are fighting for their survival, like their lives depend on it. And Pookie is on a bit of a form at the moment, so can't see them keeping both clean sheets. So probably hedging the bets by having one of each.
That's actually interesting because I currently, if we remember my team, I have double Newcastle defense, Dubravka and Cher, and I have White on the bench. But now that you said that, I may have to reconsider. Do I bring on White instead of Cher, or do I play Ramsdale over Dubravka?
Maybe.
Well, would you do Ramsdale over Dubravka? Would you reckon maybe?
I would probably play. Interesting.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I'll probably play. But Nick, there is Eddie Howe just actually said that they will rotate.
Oh.
They will rotate against Norwich. So I don't know whether will Shah play. I don't know.
Oh, okay. We'll have to see. That would be tough.
Because he actually publicly said in his presser that they will rotate against Norwich. So.
Oh, okay. We'll have to see. I'll have to think on it again. As with my captaincy, we'll have to think on it again.
Yeah, we have 1 hour.
We have 1 hour to think about it, yes. Okay, FPL. Wait, so for Dendy, I think Joe's advice is to maybe diversify, have one of each, to kind of diversify the risk a bit. And I agree with that. That's a pretty good approach to it. FPL SWAT, I'm chasing ranks, so I have Mount Captain. Yeah, pretty good option, especially if you just got him in. Yeah. I think Salah will start, but he'll be subbed if they're 2 goals clear.
Maybe.
Fair shout.
Yeah, fair enough.
Salah or KDB for the armband? Ron Kane. That's tough. Wait, they're playing Watford.
Yep.
Oh, what did it's just like looking at this for fun, but what did De Bruyne do last time they faced Watford? Surely he had a haul, right?
Oh yeah, they smashed Watford.
Well, so De Bruyne didn't get any returns, but they did get a 3-1 win in the previous fixture.
Yeah, previous one. But if you look at some of the one before that, De Bruyne really.
Oh yeah.
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 They go crazy. So tricky, but I think it depends. If you want to chase, probably KDB is the one.
It would be KDB.
Yeah, but I can still see Salah's effective ownership will be high this game week.
Yeah.
So if you want to play it safe, Captain Salah.
Yeah, I agree. If I had to pick the 2, it would be Salah. But that's kind of my personal bias. But yeah, hopefully it answers your question. Ron Kane, Vincent, which 2 to start? Coutinho, Burn, or Cher? Okay, we just talked about Newcastle possibly rotating. So what are your thoughts on this? Which 2?
I mean, for me, Coutinho definitely one of them.
I agree.
It's just between Burn and Shaw. It's probably just, I would say, flip a coin. Almost like flipping a coin. They are quite similar. So maybe Burn.
I have no idea. I have Cher, so I'd probably go with him. It's tough, but yeah, I think we can agree on Coutinho for sure. I'd back the attacker. And then good luck with the other 2, Vincent. But yeah, hopefully that kind of helped. Gavin, Love the Sterling cap, so yeah, I love it too, and hope it goes well. We can only hope, and stay tuned to see whether or not it goes well. Edwin, any idea why Chalaba is not playing? I kind of looked that up beforehand, and I think it's a little bit about the physicality because they needed kind of that speed and the physicality on the right flank, so they had to bring in James again. And then there was also something about James playing in the right center back role, and people concerned about that, like, oh, is that going to diminish his returns? I think if anything, that makes it more nailed because he's more likely to play in that role. So I wouldn't be too worried. I would assume you're asking this because you have Chalaba. If that's the case, then uh, I would still play him.
Tough
Depending if
one.
you made your transfers. But yeah, I don't really know much.
I will probably imagine him getting some minutes over the double game week.
Yeah,
It's just probably not as nailed as
yeah,
others.
yeah. But yeah, hopefully, I don't really know either the reason, but yeah, we can expect some rotation soon. I think this was asked earlier, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, my bad. Magic, what if Sterling doesn't play this week? Our manager's thinking too short term with him. Well, you say short term, but we do have like 5 something game weeks left, right? So I feel like we're kind of thinking of just the remainder of the season, kind of seeing
Yeah,
how we can.
I would think now is the time to attack um, on a weekly basis,
Yeah,
or at least attack 1 week. I mean, this week and next week. So I've looked it up so far. I think Sterling, he hasn't been. I think he probably only once benched 2 games, two Premier League games in a row. So let me just check. Yeah, only one time he's been benched 2 game weeks in a row. So you would think that he would feature on this game week, um, since he's fresh, and I think most of the fans probably um, can't see him starting in the Champions League against Madrid. So they definitely want to utilize as many people as possible,
yeah,
to spread out those fatigue, and so far he's probably one of the fresher ones, since he's not featured at all in the last match against Brighton.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, our manager thinking too short term. Yeah, we are thinking short term with Sterling, but we are in the part of the season where we have to think short term and just attack week after week relentlessly, because this is the end of the marathon. So usually end of the marathon, um,
you're giving it
runners,
all.
yeah, runners just muster whatever strength they have to sprint at the final stretch.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, you heard it here. Wise words from so. We are reaching the 1 hour mark, so we will kind of look to speed through Fahim Masood. Who to captain, Kai or Werner? I would go with
I
Kai
will go
personally.
with Kai as well. Yep.
Yeah, but they're both good, but probably
Mm-hmm.
Kai. Roger, thinking of selling Ayu to Nketiah, yeah or nay? Do you think Nketiah position is sealed given Arsenal's performance against Chelsea as compared to Lacazette? Ooh, good
I think
question.
we've answered this just now,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it's a yay for me, because RU is just it's just it's just
it's
a
not
bad
it. It's
it's just a bad FPL asset in general, since many
Whoa.
years ago. So
I would be okay with the Nketiah too, Roger. So
yeah,
yeah, go
definitely
ahead.
go ahead.
Hope it
Yeah.
works out. He also asks Mount, Havertz, Kane, Salah the captain. Ooh, I would go Salah, but Mount and Havertz also pretty good as well. Um, Depends if you're chasing or maintaining or protecting rank. So we got
I think
that.
I'll probably go for, if I have both, I'll probably go for Havertz.
Okay. hmm
I mean, if I have
I
Mount
wouldn't be
and
against it.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it either. A and Dos. I have both Barnes and Madison, and I would like to get rid of one. So whom should I transfer out? And is it wise to bring both Havertz and Mount? We kind of touched on Barnes earlier.
Yeah, based on the leak.
Based on the
Uh,
league, yeah, he's. I would definitely go Barnes. I feel like Madison is he has that role in the team that he kind of needs to be there. So
I
he's
think
more likely
he's
to
so far
start.
he's more talismanic
I agree.
in the Leicester team as compared to Barnes.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, and then is it wise to bring both Havertz and Mount? Yeah, I mean yeah, if of all game weeks to bring in both of them, I think this is the game week to do that.
yeah, I agree. I would definitely do that as well. They're both really good. And does this. I'm selling Barnes, so I think you must have heard what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Rogers back. If tripling on Liverpool players, I have Trent and Mo Salah. Who would be the better buy? Mane, Jota, Diaz, Robbo, Virgil van Dijk. Who else? So this is for the third one, I think. I know Zoe, you have Trent, Salah, and Robbo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think I would go Robbo if I could. I feel like big in the back is the trend now, and it's paying off most of the time. So
Yeah,
um,
I mean, it really depends on what you're aiming for and what funds do you have available. If you're talking
mhm,
about nailed players, then from this list, probably the most nailed player is Virgil van Dijk. Um, because there are rumors saying that Simicas played so well in the Champions League, he will probably get one of the games, uh, you know, uh, get one of the games replacing Robo. I mean, that could happen. And then Mane, Jota, and Diaz, these three are at the moment I would think um, they rotate with each other. So Mane is he's still I think he's still too expensive because
yeah,
he's not as nailed as before, and he's not as I mean he has been prolific this past few games, but for that price I'll probably prefer Jota. And Diaz. I mean it's tough. It's tough. Of all of from this list, I'll probably either go for Robo or Van Dyke.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
agree too because I feel like the defense has a little bit more nailedness. I would go Robbo for the
mhm,
threat, the attacking
okay,
threat.
yeah. I mean,
But
if
yeah,
your budget is not an option, yeah, probably Robo is the one to go for.
true. Yeah, Roger, time to sell Bowen. I think so. I don't
Bowen.
know because I feel like we completely overlooked the West Ham guys, and what do they have to?
I think Bowen is still a really good asset to own. He is really under the radar at the moment.
Yeah,
Uh, but their fixtures aren't easy, and I think they also have the Europa League,
yeah,
right? So they're playing Chelsea this week, and then they are playing Arsenal next week, and they do not have any doubles.
yeah.
So, mm, I
I
mean,
think my issue with Bowen is that there are probably better midfielders you can get at that range, which is why, as much as
yeah,
he's a good asset to hold, I think within the remainder of the season, there are better midfielders you can go for. So that's why
yeah,
I'm for selling Bowen if it were
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have other fires to put out, and you need Bowen's spot for, let's say, Mason Mount, then I will go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. You as well. Roger then follows up. If I sell Kane, what are the better alternatives? Ooh, I mean, I personally feel like the forward options is not as prolific as the defense and the midfield. So we kind of talked about, do you need cash? If so, you go for an enabler like Pookie or Nketiah. Otherwise, you can do a straight swap to Ronaldo.
You
Kind of
can
has
go
a
for
double
you can go for Werner if you want
burner.
double game
Yeah.
week. If you don't need that funds, I would think Ronaldo is actually under the I mean sort of under the radar in the community this week. Um, yeah, he
Yeah.
he can turn up against any team. To be fair,
Yeah.
so unless you don't I mean if you need those funds, then probably you can look at Werner or even cheaper like Pookie, or some people even put Watkins in. So
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, those are some of the alternatives, Roger. Um, PDOTZ, Captain Mount, Werner, or Salah. We've covered this a little bit. Protecting rank, Salah. If you're going for differential, Werner, Mount, they're pretty good as well. I would personally go Mount if I was chasing. But yeah.
Yeah, I think he has a statement at the bottom. He says, "I'm on 70k rank. Should I attack?"
Oh.
Yeah, I would attack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm in this final stretch of the season. Usually, I'll switch my mentality or my mindset to attack every week.
Yeah.
You know, I have this sort of like personal unspoken rule that each week I will have to bring in a player that is below 10% owned and that has a pretty high ceiling and good fixture. So that's my own personal unspoken rule to sort of like to sprint at the final stretch of the marathon and have fun at the same time.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you look at 70k, to me 70k, at most, if your differential fail, how far can you fall? Maybe 90k, you're still within 100k. But if you attack, you can potentially go up to top 50k or even higher. So
Mhm.
so the upside is there, and then there is always opportunity every week to attack. So it just depends on how you want to play the game.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Hopefully that helped. The Vindra, Aston Villa Cash. I think he's asking if cash is a good option.
Yeah, I would
Yeah, I
think cash
think
is a good option. As I mentioned, Villa is probably one of the team that that we can players to go for, and cash, he is not that. I mean, he's not as expensive as other players. Um, I think he's a pretty decent option.
yeah, I agree as well, Vindra. Vincent, in true fashion, Lewis Dunk or Lee Mason. Good
Lee
way to
Mason,
bring him
Lee
back
Mason.
as always.
Let's swing. Let's
Unfortunately,
swing when you need him.
yeah, where's Swang when you need him? Oh man, hopefully he'll be back and you can ask this question again to him. And Vincent, one more question, guys: Ramsdale or Forster? Um, does Forster have a double? No, right?
Uh,
Forster has a blank. I would go Ramsdale. They play until the end of the season. They have a double in 36. And yeah, if you're setting up for a bench boost, Ramsdale is a very good goalkeeper, probably to pair with like a Dubravka or something, or Foster.
unless he's asking about this 34 game week 34. Arsenal's facing Man United,
Yeah.
and Southampton is playing
Southampton plays
against
Brighton.
Brighton.
I think I would still go Arsenal though for the long term. And I mean, who knows,
What
right? Arsenal
what about this? What about this game week? You think?
this game week. It's a bit biased because I do have Ramsdale. Uh, so all I can think about is Ramsdale. Southampton, have they been like defensively okay? Would you say? I mean, the last game week, my goodness, was definitely how Arsenal didn't Arsenal
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, because
score.
like Forster was a hero last game week, so
Oh,
he had a double digit, I think. And at the first game against Arsenal, which I think it's all credit due to Forster. But this
yeah,
game week against Brighton, maybe I will personally go for Forster this game week
fair enough. Fair
because,
enough.
like I say, Man United, they can turn up if they want to,
Yeah,
so it's a bit tricky. But yeah, I will probably go for Fraser Forster.
sounds good. Hopefully that helped, Vincent. Coda X and Z, is Zaha a decent pick? Zaha Palace. Oh, they do have a double in 37. It's just, I don't know. Palace aren't screaming at me right now. They're
Yeah, they are not scoring as much as they should.
and
But
at
Zaha
7.4. Wait, sorry. It's how expensive is Zaha? It's like 7
six
mil, right?
point eight, 6.8.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's 6.8.
I mean, Zaha is not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout.
Not a bad
His
show.
ownership is low. He's on penalties, but it's just Palace isn't creating enough, scoring enough. But they have pretty decent fixtures, and they're playing against Leeds United this week, Southampton next week. I
If
would
you
say
want to
he's.
have fun, Zaha is a decent pick.
I would say he's a decent pick. Um, you can't go wrong with him. It's just sometimes we have it just feels that there are better alternatives
I
in that
agree.
midfield slot and that price range, especially if you can bump it up to 7.6 ish million.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hope that helped. A Endos, Robertson or Van Dyke, whom should I go for? We kind of talked about this. If budget is not an issue, Robbo, but
Mhm.
both are equally good. The defense, I would go Robbo for sure if you have the
Mhm.
money,
Mhm.
just for the attacking threat.
Yep.
Android Game World, Son or Kane?
Toss a coin.
Toss a coin. I think Kane because of the lack of forward options, and I think Son you could maybe look towards. He would probably free up money if you maybe downgrade to like a City midfielder or something like that. If I had to pick, it would be Kane to keep Kane. I think, but that's tough. It's definitely tough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I would keep Kane as well. If you could,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
there
then
you
I
have it.
think I think Spurs playing against Brentford this week, playing against Leicester next week, and then they have a pretty tough double on game week 36. But I think their final stretch after that is pretty good. Burnley
Mm.
home, and they end the season with Norwich away. So and they have something to fight for. But I think in terms of minutes, Kane usually stays the whole match. Son usually nicked off a bit earlier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so in terms of minutes and on penalties, for me, um, yeah, Kane.
yeah. There you have it. We went for Kane, and that will be it for the Q&A. So thank you everyone for submitting your questions. Hopefully we helped out a little bit. And the deadline is coming up very soon. I think
I
about
think
45 minutes, and you probably
yep.
want to lock in a little bit earlier. So
I think there's
make
one
sure
more
you guys get
question,
your.
Nick,
Oh, is there one more question? Sorry.
by Malcolm Brown.
Start Ramsey over
Oh,
Barnes.
I would sell Barnes if you still have him.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
if you don't want to sell Barnes, then I would start Ramsey over Barnes. And then another
Um,
is Barnes out.
is Barnes out best replacement at 6.9? 6.9. Let's have a look real quick. Midfielders.
6.9. That's pretty specific.
uh, ooh. Oh, that is not a lot of assets that are screaming at
Yeah.
me. I mean, we talked about Zaha. We
We
talked
talked
about
about
Zaha.
Zaha. We talked about Bowen. We talked about. I mean, if you can stretch that 0.1 to Madison, that would be great.
Yeah,
Um, if you don't mind, Rafinha, because Leeds are actually still fighting. And Rafinha,
yeah.
he is on penalties. He's nailed. He's their creative. He's their creative force. Other than that, tough. Um, not many options to go for. To be fair,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you can stretch it to the price Madison is at 7. middle. If not, it's kind of tough. 6.9 is a very awkward price.
Yeah, very awkward price. I mean, if you don't have Saka, definitely you should get him already.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's true.
6.8 because he's on penalties at the moment, which is surprising. You know, was it surprising to you when he grabbed
Kind of
that?
surprising, yeah. But at the same time, I didn't know who would have taken it since Lacazette is not there. So I guess it makes sense
Odegaard,
now.
I don't know.
Yeah, not
Yep.
really sure how the order of penalties work. I just always knew it was like Lacazette or Alba, but Alba's not here. So yeah, that will be it for the questions. Thank you everyone again. And so as always, pleasure to have you on the show. We hope your Sterling pick goes well. Any last words for the audience?
Like I said, we are at the final stretch of the season. It's time to attack. So go with your gut. Have fun.
Have fun. There you go. Thank you so much. So follow So on his Twitter here at SoFPL. Follow me as well at FPL Nitro. It's always a pleasure to talk to FPL with you and all of you as well. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. And yes, we hope So gets a Sterling return. That'll be really, really great. But to the rest of you, we hope you guys have green arrows for the final stretch of the season. We hope that it goes well. May all of your arrows be green, and we hope to see you guys very soon. Goodbye.